these clients, these interviewees are trying to be John Rambos and stuff like that, and they're not looking for that. That's a whole different aspect. Go down to SWAT somewhere if you want to. Hey guys, how you doing? Coach Mitch here. So let's talk about Charlie's question about the Secret Service super interview. First, Charlie passed his interview 3 weeks ago. They had the expedited production done in Florida for you guys about 3 weeks ago. He passed, but he said to me on the phone, he says, Coach Mitch, what do you think are the 3 most important aspects you wish people would understand before taking on the Secret Service super interview? That's a really great topic. So let's get right into it. The first thing is this: because you think of Secret Service, you're thinking elite action, right? And you're thinking you got to do this or that, right? So people think they got to be aggressive, right, in the interview and show command, presence, and tactical dominance and things like that, right? No, you're mixing it up. It's not SWAT, okay? And I'm not joking either. I'm not trying to be funny here. It's not SWAT. Your answers should not be about showing aggressive behavior or command presence or being tactical. It's not about that at all. For the Secret Service super interview, it's about judgment, right? The judgment portion for sure. I'll show you how to reflect that in your answers as we go through the practice. This is why it's critical you understand this. Number 2 for sure is not to be overbearing, is to be a person who shows restraint. That's what they're looking for also in this panel. They're looking for too what I call emotional regulation, meaning that you have to control yourself at all times and not go off and do something crazy. This is why you rarely hear about Secret Service doing silly things on YouTube or in the news, because they're so highly trained to show those kind of restraints. Last one I would say is decision making before action, right? These are what I call the ATs, and I teach you how to answer like an AT. So what's an AT? An analytical thinker. You're the person who doesn't react before they think, right? It's not fire, ready, aim, right? It's ready, aim, fire. So you put those 3 together, right? In that one answer alone, you want to show that you are the one who is slowing the situation down, who is showing control of the situation, but not in an overtly aggressive manner. That's not your role. People tend to mix that up. And so they go into these interviews. I hear it all the time. I got people who do interviews. These clients, these interviewees are trying to be John Rambos and stuff like that. And they're not looking for that. That's a whole different aspect. Go down to SWAT somewhere if you want to, right? Number 2 is critical. It's probably one of my biggest problems my clients have, which I teach them and which they pass. Last year alone for 2025, 38 clients came into my doors. 38 went into the interview panel, and all 38 passed. January, 6 passed. Going into February, 1 already passed. So this is what I'm going to teach you so you can pass. Do not go into the interview thinking like a civilian. You can't do that, guys. You can't have that civilian mindset, right? It's subtle, but it's deadly for you. And this is what I mean by they want to do this compromise and this customer service, and fairness and all these nice, sweet, beautiful civilian type interview aspects. This does not transfer over to the Secret Service super interview panel. They're going to tell you don't call them again, because you're going to get in trouble trying to go into the interview this way. This is why I tell people tell me all the time, but I practice with Joe or Larry, whatever. That's great. Your friend Jerry found some questions to ask you, and so you answer them. But how do you know you're answering the right way? How do you know your approach is even the right way, the right verbiage, the right words, the right delivery method? How do you know? You don't know. And this is so we revert to what we know. We revert to what? Our civilian type answering for questions. Civilians, when they interview, they don't talk about mission first, right? This is what I teach. I teach the mission must come first, right? Protective behaviors. Those are not civilian type interview questions, right? But they are for Secret Service. Institutional instructions. So what does that mean, right? Institutional instructions is the way things have been taught with Secret Service for years and years and years. You want to reflect that in your answers. This means that we got to do some homework about the Secret Service in the first place. Then I want to show you how to answer the question according to what they've been doing all their lives. Because remember, you are in front of a Secret Service agent panel. You're not going to fool anybody there. Since you're not going to fool anybody there, you have to make it so you understand the job, maybe not as much as them, but you get the overall gist, then you must deliver that way. So how do you get that way? Through practice, practice, practice. I show you how to do that. We insert certain words into your delivery. We make it so they understand that you understand what the mission is via your verbiage. And they will not confuse you with some civilian guy up there who doesn't know what the heck he's doing in the first place, right? You are going to understand what you're talking about. It's not about being harsh. It's about being clear and mission-minded the whole time. The last one is STAR. People keep thinking STAR is going to get them through the Secret Service super interview panel. It's not, guys. I've been doing this for 7 years. I'm telling you right now, I've had hundreds of candidates in the Secret Service go through my doors and pass. But I don't teach them STAR. First of all, the ST's gone. The A and the R, action and result, sometimes that's used, but it's not something you heavily rely on to get you through. I have had so many people who I call my returns, right? A return is someone who takes on the interview by themselves, doesn't do good, they don't pass, right? Then they come and see me later on when they're ready to take on again, and I teach them the right way. They say, oh my God, I can't start that. I say, yes, exactly right. You can't start that. And then we go through how to answer it properly, because I understand too, a lot of guys, we're taught this way, right? Use the STAR method, use the STAR method, right? But that is not what they're looking for. They're looking at things like this. What are the risks you are weighing? Think about that. Secret Service, what do? You guard VIPs, right? So what risks are being weighed if you do or don't do this or do that action, right? That's a huge one also. Your internal decision and logical mind. There is no such thing as a civilian interview that even gives you such a question. But your answer should be reflective of that. What is your internal decision and logic of mind? This is what I show you. I teach you how to do it, What do you cautiously do? Again, not the civilian type interview, not for STAR. These are way beyond the STAR methods, right? How do you balance your authority with your decision-making powers? Again, see, those are things you're not going to see in a civilian type interview panel. And these are things I can teach you. I will show you how to beat your competition every time. Not a problem there. But the real deal is this. I will show you how to understand and learn the Secret Service way. How you can be always aware in the process where every single question they give you, you're ready to answer it through our repetition, through our improvement, through our focus, and through our tenacity. I too can show you that. If you want a great chance to pass that Secret Service interview, click the link down below, get it to my calendar, and I'll see you on the other side. Take care. Bye-bye.